YouTube? I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm very excited to check out Blue Lagoon from Blue Orange Games and Reiner Knizia. This is for 2 to 4 players, taking about 30 to 45 minutes to play, and it's for ages 8+. And Blue Lagoon is a family game that looks like Moana from the front cover, in which you are going to have a village, and you are going to be spreading your village around a series of islands, picking up resources, and trying to collect points. There's also 6 different ways you'll be able to score points in this game, by having majority on different islands, by having people on all the different islands, and by making a chain that covers a bunch of different islands, or just by collecting resources. It's a little bit of a point salad-y type of game, which isn't typically your Reiner Knizia flavor. There's not many numbers in this game. Is that good? Is that bad? Is this a game I can recommend? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you get inside of Blue Lagoon. So first and foremost, we have a handy dandy rule booklet. It is 32 pages, but in actuality, you're only going to need the first 3 or 4 pages. This is all you're going to need right here. It's a very short, concise rule booklet. In fact, they were nice enough to send me just the English part, which I thought was kind of odd, but still, very happy about that. Should have you up and running in no time at all. You'll read it once or twice, and you will quickly know exactly how the game works. So in Blue Lagoon, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be collecting these different resources by putting your tribesmen and tribes ladies down on the board and collecting all these different resources. These different resources are going to give you points in a variety of different ways. Also, connecting from island to island or having majority on different islands will give you ways to score points. And there's 6 different ways to score points. I will show you all those 6 ways, but let's go over the components. Let's get into the gameplay. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to the box insert, which is fantastically done. It holds everything nice and snug in here. Big thumbs up on the box art. The box insert, I always appreciate those. Next, you're also going to get this really nice mesh bag. All it's going to be used to do is hold all the resources, because you're going to randomly put all the resources out on the board like so. I've already done it, so I've got it set up for the game. Next, each person is going to get their tribe, which will be a different color. These are double-sided. One side will have people on land, one side will have people on boats. As you guessed it, the people on boats are in the water, and the people on land are on the land. Pretty self-explanatory. Next, you're going to have these little Hershey Kisses looking huts, and these are really nice, cool, overproduced, but still very, very neat looking huts. These are kind of unique because they act just like a regular villager, except that when you put it down, it's going to save your spot there for the next round. So you're going to be playing over the course of 2 rounds, doing close to the same thing each round. So both rounds, you're still going to have all the same scoring criteria. So this is the first round, this is the second round, but there is one minor rule change which I'll tell you about. But what you need to know for now is put all of these out and don't put them on the little stone spots. So let's go through exactly how the game works, and then we'll give you a feel for how the scoring works. So the very first turn you're going to do is you're going to put out a seaman, somewhere out on the board. So you know what? I might put it right there. I think that's a good spot. So I'll put it right there, and then somebody else would put theirs right here. We'll just say we're playing a 3-player version of the game. So boom, boom, boom. Somebody might go here because they're not thinking very smartly, and they think totems are a good way to play. Totems are not a good way to play, at least in my personal experience. So now, what you're going to do on your turn is you have one of 2 options, stupid glare. So the first option is that you can put one of your people down or one of your villages down anywhere that is touching one of your other people or villages. So let's take a look for me. I could go here, 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 or here for free. You also could go on the sea, but you probably wouldn't want to right there, and I'll explain that in a second. The other option that you can do is you can go wherever you want, as long as no one is there, but it has to be a sea spot. So I could go right here, or I could go right there, or I could go right here, or right there, or you get it. Any spots that are blue. Pretty self-explanatory. That's all you're going to do on your turn. Now, the other big thing is that if you go on a spot that has a resource, you collect that resource and put it down in front of you, it will score you points. So let's say it gets back to me, and I really like being on this island, so next I would put this little hut right here. Now that little hut, as I mentioned, saves my spot, which means that I am going to be able to spawn anywhere from around that hut next round. So let's just say what I might keep doing for the next few turns. I might go right here, and then I might put a hut right here. So I got a hut on each island. Then I would probably go right here. and I'm collecting different resources. So now let's talk about scoring and the 6 different ways you're going to be able to score in this game. We'll cover up that terrible glare. So we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. So the first thing is the totems. If you get a totem, it's worth 4 points. You get 5 totems, it's worth 20 points. 6 totems is worth 24 points. Totems are totems are totems. Totems, these little brown dudes, are always worth 4 points. Next, if you can get a set of 4 of the colorful ones, the green one, the yellow one, which we call monkeys, bananas, the Star Wars symbols, we call them coconuts or something. If you can get all 4 of those, you get a set, you get 10 points. You can only do that one time, though, so you can't have like 3 sets of them and score 30 points. Now, the way you will score a lot of points in this is by having 2, 3, or 4 of the same type of colorful ones. So if you have 4 of these yellow ones, it is worth 20 points. If you have 3 of them, it's worth 10 points. And if you have 2 of them, it's worth 5 points. So collecting a big set of the yellow or the green or the white or the other bluish green is really good, and you can score a lot of points that way. Next is for having majority of the islands. So let's take a look around the islands. You'll notice that there's these numbers all around. 10, 8, 6, 8. What does that mean? Well, we'll get you out of here. That tells you how many points that particular island is worth. So for right now, I would have majority on this island and this island because I'm the only people on that island. So I would score 8 points for this island and 10 points for that island. However, obviously, as you're playing the game, you're probably not going to be the only person on an island most of the time. So maybe sometimes in a 2-player game. But you're going to score points for having the majority on an island. If there is a tie, you split up the points evenly, rounded down. Next, we have stringing together islands. So this one's another really interesting one. This actually looks at your connections that you have. And if you have a connection that connects islands, you'll get 5 points per island. So right now, I have 5, 10. So let's just say that I somehow did this move right here. That would now make it 15, but let's say that I also went over here. That would mean that this connection right here would score me 20 points. So whichever connection is going to give you the most points is going to give you points. 5 points per island. And last but not least, if you're able to successfully reach 7 of the islands and have a person or a village on 7 islands, you'll score 10 points. And if you can get all 8, you'll score 20 points. So what you're going to do is you will tally up all those points, and then you will take everything off of the board except for the teeny tiny little villages. All the villages are going to stay put. You're going to put all the resources back into the bag, and then you're going to place them all back out on these little stone spots. Oh, I forgot to mention, how does the round end? The round ends either when you run out of these tiles, unlikely, or more likely, when you run out of resources out on the board. So, now what you're going to do is you're going to put all these little resource tiles back in the bag, and then you're going to, once again, randomly distribute them out. You're going to play the exact same game, but you now cannot place a piece anywhere you want on the sea. So, let's just say that I start off the game and I had this. This was my hut setup. So my first move would have to be placing somewhere around one of my little huts. Now, I still can go in the water, like I can go here, but I could not go here because it's not touching one of my little huts. So you can't, you lose a little bit of your freedom of mobility because you have your huts, but you then can kind of choose where you want to go and where you want to start the second round. Second round plays out exactly like the first round, except you can't place out the boat people wherever the heck you want. And you tally up the point after you tally up the points for the second round. Whoever has the most points after the first and second round will be the winner of Blue Lagoon. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alright then, Blue Lagoon from Blue Orange Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. First and foremost, 2 to 4 players, restricted player count. Also, this is a Reiner Knizia game, which typically means numbers. Feel the numbers. No theme and the numbers. And this game, while it doesn't have that many numbers, which is, it is what it is, but still, there is no theme to this game. You go around, you pick stuff up, you try to score points. You try to score points in 6 different ways, and that's really the game. Despite the fact that the cover looks absolutely gorgeous, you're like, Moana, we're going to go on a nice tropical journey in the ocean. No, it's not. You're just going around placing huts, placing villages, getting stuff. So, don't expect too much theme in this game. Also, on the con side, I want to mention that this game, it's kind of an odd COD, but once you've seen everything in this game, after your first and second game, the game is going to play very similar each and every time you play this game. There is not much in this game. It is a very straightforward game. There's no variability aside from, where you decide to start and where the different resources are. But even with the max amount of variability in this game, it's still going to feel samey from game to game to game to game to game, which will be a big con for a lot of people. Now, looking at this as a game night game, do I recommend this as a game night game? And I say a tepid yes. I will say yes if you're looking at this as a end of the night game or a beginning of the night game where, there's not too much thinking. There's some very light strategy here and there, but I would still put this under like your Ticket to Ride complexity. I really would. I played this with a 7-year-old. He had no problem. She had no problem, actually, snapping her brain around this and figuring it out. She didn't win, but still, it is a light family weight game, and that is exactly where I would put this in if you're not in the market for a light family weight game, or potentially a light game night filler game. This is not one that I can really recommend. Any other cons that I have with the game? No theme. Well, there is a theme, but the theme does not come across very well. Once you've seen it, the game is very samey from game to game to game to game to game. There's not really too many holes I can poke in this game. It's a very self-contained game, and the game that's inside that self-container is a good to very good game, and I can recommend it if you are in the market for a 2 to 4 player family game. So what did I like about Blue Lagoon? So first and foremost, component-wise, the components are top-notch. The box insert is top-notch. The rule booklet is very well done. The scoring is simple and clean and clear, and you can just put the score pad in front of 2 people, and they can very clearly say, oh, so I get points for this, I get points for this, I get points for that. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. The choices in this game are simple and easy to make, which is a good thing and a bad thing, but it's kind of a chit-chatty type of game. It's a social game. It's the kind of game where you sit around, you talk, you play the game, you'll discuss your life, what's going on, whatever's going on, and it has that sort of vibe. You're never going to be putting too much thought into this game, which for a lot of people is a good thing. That's exactly what a lot of people want. They game to socialize. I'm to the point now where, yes, I love socializing with these people I game with, but I'm still here to game. I'm gaming to game, and yes, the social factor of it is fantastic, and I love talking to these people. And my favorite aspect of gaming, we're gonna take a little bit off, is getting to know these people slowly over time, because I invite people that I don't know to my game nights. I go on Reddit and say, hey, you want to come to my game night? I don't know you. You don't know me. That's fine. I swear I'm not an axe murderer. Let's play this game together. And then getting to know them week after week after week after week and starting to form these inside jokes. I love that aspect. Now let's get back to this game, though. This game is a great game for that sort of thing, because you're going to socialize, you're going to chit-chat, you're going to talk about your life. I do like that. Components are top-notch. Another big thing that I like about this game, and this is one that I really don't think too many reviewers are probably going to talk about, but I think a lot of people might be interested in this aspect of the game, is the fact that this is one of those games that you can play it, and then you can put it back on your shelf for 2 or 3 months. You can get it back out, don't remember the rules except maybe for a little bits here and there, but it's such a simple and straightforward game, and the rules are so clear and concise. You can have this game back up and running in, I'd say, less than 10 minutes, which is always a good thing. Everybody hates that. Everybody hates that. When you have to get out a game and you have to spend another 30 to 40 minutes flipping through the rule booklet. Oh, I think this is how it works. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's coming back to me. Let me just read these 3 pages right here about the combat. Yeah, and nobody likes that, and that's unfortunate. That's actually big part of the reason why I'm culling out games that I really, really like now, is because I know when I go back to them, it's going to take me a long time to learn how to play those games and relearn how to play those games, and then I won't get them back again, so I'm going to have to do that over and over and over again. It's a vicious cycle. Blue Lagoon is not going to have you in that cycle because the rules are very clear and concise. That's what I'm trying to say here. Man, I feel like I'm rambling. Totally I'm rambling. But let's see. Any other pros that I have with the game? No. Not there. I think it is a good to very good family game that I can recommend if you're in the market for a 2 to 4 player family game that is relatively light and simple. This is the kind of game that if your family really enjoys this game, I can see you having this game for an incredibly long time. Reiner Knizia, once again, does not disappoint. Is it amazing? Is it great? Is it go out and buy it immediately for most people? No, I don't think it is, but it's a very good... It's a good to very good, rock-solid game that I think a lot of people are going to keep in their collection. And yes, I know you're wondering it. Some of you are wondering out there, am I personally going to keep this game? I think I'm going to give it to somebody in my game group who liked it better than I did. So that way I'll still have the option to play it if I wanted, but most likely they're going to get more play out of it than I will. So that is Blue Lagoon from Blue Orange Games. If you enjoyed this review, please click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know if you could take a vacation to a any tropical spot. It has to be a tropical spot. Where would you go? For me personally, I would like to go to Bangkok, Oriental City, because the city don't know. I think that's tropical, right? Maybe I don't know. So yeah, I would want to go to Bangkok because I've heard it's just crazy there, and I would love to see the craziness. But let me know in the comments below. Where would you like to go? Has to be a tropical location. Any vacation, where would you go? Tropical. Let me know, and as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.